And I remember monochromatic, all those things, madam. Dressing sense was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, what is it?
You took one class on dressing this one, no? Any color and all this. I'm following it very nicely. Because of you only I did that NLP course also. That was very useful.
Very,
Yeah.
oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, madam. Recording is started, madam.
Okay. Fine.
You-
So good.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Happy to meet all of you all. Well, this again goes back to my vision board in 2020, which I had made during the pandemic. And one of my goals on the vision board was, as a global speaker, I would love to speak in the UN and the General Assembly. So then, as it goes, you manifest whatever you plan. And the fact that it was written in the vision board, and the vision board, I carry the vision board everywhere with me. I can't carry the physical copy, but I carry a picture of it on my mobile phone. So the picture of it is always there on my mobile phone. And likewise, I have been achieving many of the goals that I have on my vision board. But this was one that I was manifesting, and there were a lot of barriers. I mean, I can't tell you, the day I got the letter from UN, I was extremely happy. I went to book the tickets to US. Everything was done. The day I had to make a payment for the ticket, the agent told me, share your passport. And I shared the passport. He says, madam, your passport is not valid, because you need to have 6 months validity whenever you're traveling abroad. It had only 3 months validity. So he said that the passport is not valid. And I had barely 12 days in hand, just 12 days in hand. But the drive was so much. Immediately, I flew down to Mumbai. I went to the passport office. I applied for Tatkal. Tatkal didn't happen. The passport office refused my Tatkal. They said, madam, we can't go in for Tatkal for you. So because Tatkal in 3 days, you get your passport. This didn't happen. But any which ways, I didn't lose hope. I went through the normal passport, and then I asked people for some help. And I met the police because I had to go back to Chandigarh again. I just had taken 2 days leave when I came here. I went back to Chandigarh, but prior to going to Chandigarh, I ensured that my passport application moved from the local police to the CID. Nowadays, it has become compulsory that from the local police station, the passport moves to the CID department. So it moved to the CID. Then I was tracking. So the day I got my passport, and the passport had to come in Bombay, because Bombay is my residence and Punjab is my workplace. So the day I received the passport over here, the postman didn't want to give the passport because I wasn't there. That was another challenge. Somehow we bribed the postman to leave the passport with us. I got the passport. I told my son, click a picture. He clicked a picture of the passport, put it on WhatsApp. Immediately from Mohali, I booked my tickets. I had a visa already for 10 years. I booked my tickets, flew to Mumbai because the passport was here in Mumbai. Flew to Mumbai in the day, and in the night, I flew to the US. So it was like, I mean, I really can't believe that it has happened, because it was very, very feeble chances of happening, because my passport was not valid. And in 12 days, to get a passport and ticket and to fly to US is, I mean, it was a great challenge any which ways. But the moment I landed there, going to UN itself is, I mean, it's like a dream come true. First 2 days, we didn't get at all. We were kept in a, stands, how you have stands in the movie or stands in the stadium. So from those stands, you had to watch the deliberations that were happening in the General Assembly. It was only delegates of different, not delegates, I mean ministers of different countries. And then there were other parallel events also happening. I met we were almost 7,500 women leaders across the globe, 7,500 women leaders who got chance to visit the UN this year. And the theme was the theme of UN Women. It was UN Women because of Women's Day. 8th March, Women's Day was celebrated in the UN with a lot of show and pomp. All of us were asked to come in blue. We all came in various blues. I went in a blue salwar kameez there, and there were all various costumes. Everybody was, it was like a sea of blue celebrating Women's Day. Then the General Secretary of UN addressed the whole meet. And a young girl she's a US citizen, but her name is Gayatri Rao from India, but a US citizen. She got to speak as a youth leader. So seeing an Indian on the days also was very, very, very proud moment. And then after having celebrated Women's Day and how women are going to be empowered and how women are the future of the world, and how if women are empowered, then the home is empowered. If the home is empowered, the community is empowered. If the community is empowered, then the whole social setup is empowered. And if the social setup of a country is empowered, then the whole country is empowered. And this is where the thought was that we need to get into digitization. So there were a lot of deliberations about digitization and education for girl, child, and women. So I got a chance to speak on one of the panel sessions wherein I spoke about what India is doing towards empowering the girl child and empowering women into education. So I spoke about the various schemes, the good practices that India has, and there are good practices. For example, we've got free education for girls. Then we have night schools for women, night schools for girls. We have weekend schools for women, wherein when the men are at home, the women are, studying. Then we've got a lot of distance education platform for women nowadays so that you can work and earn at the same time. Then we've got MOOC platforms now. MOOC platforms are basically online platforms. During COVID, a lot of courses have been put up online wherein you can pay a very minimal cost. Some of the courses are also absolutely free. So you can have skill development. Then in India, we have Times of India, which is going ahead with each one, teach one. So a literacy rate of India from 2019 to 2022, from 72% has grown to 96%, especially during the pandemic. So literacy rates of India have grown a lot, and it is actually an exemplar to the world because the African countries, all the African countries are so backward because the villages don't have electricity. The main cause of the digital gap is electricity. Plus, there are various barriers because they are all patriarchal families. In patriarchal family, the ladies are not given too much of importance. The role of the lady in the family is only just to give birth and childcare. That is it. They don't want their women to get into maybe offices, businesses, and although women over there have small-time businesses of selling maybe some household goods and things like this, but they are not into good positions in life. So to empower women, we need to bridge this digital gap. And how can we as women leaders bridge this digital gap was the talk for the Women's Day for the year 2023. So the moment I spoke about what India is doing towards education of the girl child and of the Indian women, it took up a lot of applause. And many people came and met me backstage later on that please share what model you all are following, So for us, we are following various models in the grassroots, like we have change makers appointed in every grassroots. These change makers are nothing but the youth of the village that we are giving them a certain stipend. There are many NGOs in India which are working with the grassroots, and these grassroots, these change makers, they are working for certain stipend, maybe 2,000 rupees per month or something. And then the model is that the schools which are there in the village, the gurudwaras which are there, the schools which are there, the community halls which are there in the villages, they are giving these change makers a small place, wherein in the evening there are classes happening, there are computer classes happening for children, there are computer classes happening for ladies, there are some skill development classes like stitching classes, wherein they are stitching masks and then they are selling this mask. Then also there are a lot of projects that we are working with the NGOs, and the NGOs are teaching these empowering women by opening sanitary napkin units in every village. So there are more than 200 villages there in Punjab where sanitary napkin units are being opened up. And these sanitary napkins that are being made by the women, They are being sold in the same village at a very, very low cost, which indirectly is also taking care of the menstrual hygiene of the girl child in that particular village. So with all of this that the NGOs in India are doing, I mean, there is no doubt literacy plus also employment plus empowerment. So this is what India is doing in the villages, even in the south of India, in the north of India, in the west of India. You know, there are projects called Sui Dhaga. The Sui Dhaga project is basically a woman empowerment project wherein they are stitching uniforms. They are stitching uniforms, they are stitching masks, and they are stitching, out of waste, they are stitching rugs. They are recycling the waste and making rugs. And these rugs are again sold in the market. And as a result of which, there is a lot of sales, and these sales again come back to the villages, and this is how then the villages are growing. And if the villages are growing, then the women are also growing, the girl child are getting empowered, and these are the models that we are following. So there were many African ladies who came to me to ask, and we were 19 of us from India. 19 of us from India representing India in different projects that have been happening across India. So across Gujarat, across the south of India, we had people from north of India, from everywhere. So the people who were from the real backward countries, they were very happy to meet us, and they were very happy to learn from us how we are carrying out our projects, what are the barriers we face, what are the barriers we face, and in spite of barriers, how are we going ahead, they wanted to know. So it was very, very enriching. I was there in UN all the days I was there for almost 6 days. I went from morning to evening, I spent over there. I met a lot of people, and I also told them that I'm happy to collaborate with them, wherein maybe I could help those countries, I could help those women, because these were all women leaders of different countries who are running their respective NGOs. So I could help them by helping their women, their girls with maybe soft skills, and sharing my success story with them. And also at the same time, motivating them to do much more, opening avenues for them, sharing with them what are the avenues that women can do to empower themselves. So, and how to get digitized. So I could also have Zoom classes with them. I told them that they could get in touch with me, wherein on Zoom, I could tell them how to bridge the digital gap, So all these things, plus another area that was very, very heart touching was, we had a huge team which came from Ukraine, the Ukrainian women. And these Ukrainian women were, they were pleading to all the women, the 7,500 women leaders, that please do something to get rid of this war. Because Ukrainian children are not attending schools because of the war. Education is totally at a standstill. People have lost all the resources that they had built for so many years. And there is child death because of landmines. Russia has planted landmines everywhere, and these children on their way to school or on their way to meet their friends or whatever, they are victim to these landmines. This is the same story that had happened when USA had, with the Vietnamese War. People died of landmines. People also lost their limbs due to landmines. Today also, when you go to Vietnam, there are a lot of when I visited Vietnam, there were a lot of Vietnamese people. There are musical groups and bands who collect money. These are all victims of landmines, who have lost their arms, who have lost their parts of their body. Some of them have lost their eyesight, because of the burst of landmines. And the same thing is happening now in Ukraine, wherein children are dying due to landmines. And they were actually begging us, that please help us reach to the world that war shouldn't be happen. It is one world. It should be peace in the world, and it shouldn't be, why are we the sufferers? What have we done to be the sufferers? So politics should be in one place, but humanitarian goals should be in one place. So we also had a lot of meetings and deliberations with the UN versus Ukraine, that how we all can stand together in solidarity for the Ukrainian women. And I did make a lot of posts on Twitter. I did make a lot of posts on Facebook as well, to reach out to people that let's all be in solidarity for this. Say no to war, say yes to peace. So I did click pictures, and at the same time, I did some videos also wherein I informed that how in India we are actually blessed. We complain so much about India. So much we complain about India that this is not good, the infrastructure is not good, there's construction everywhere, this is not that. I mean, so many complaints we have. But when you go to a forum where you see how people are suffering, due to lack of resources, they are so poverty stricken, the government is not really helping them come up. So it is politicization of education, politicization of workplaces. Everything is run by authorities. So in a free country like India, the freedom that we have, we are at a different level. We are at a very, very, very different level. And these things you really don't feel, you don't understand until and unless you don't see what people are facing in different countries. So when I spoke to a lot of people. All I did was just engaging with people from China, from Japan, from Korea, from Bulgaria, from Africa, all the places of Africa, West Africa, East Africa, Kenya, South Africa, everywhere I spoke to people. And I really realized that we are so blessed here in India, being a free country, and we are really abusing democracy. We are abusing democracy by our acts. We don't want to keep our road clean. We don't want to, keep our localities, areas clean. I mean, we don't want to help people. We only just want to, just blame people, and maybe we don't want to collaborate with people. There's so much of jealousy happening. So all these things, if we can really break down in a free country, a free India, I tell you, India by 2025 is going to be very, very, very strong. If we just, all of us come together and we spread this message that no, we need to see India number one in the world. And we are almost there. And so this free country, we need to encash on this. And the G20, which is happening right now in India, I think it's a wonderful thing in India, and it is a platform for all we leaders to represent, what we are doing in G20, so that the government also knows what we are doing, and the government could support us in our ventures, could really support, because we require government support. Ultimately, at the end of the day, NGOs can't do too much unless they don't have government support. So for that, we have to reach the right, we need to climb the right ladders and go there and propose what we are doing, what is our interest in doing. For us, like for me, I'm looking into education into grassroots children who are first generation learners there in Punjab, and how we are teaching them, plus they are also getting into sports. So how Punjab is working toward, how we are working as an NGO towards empowering these youth, the youth which is drowned in drugs in Punjab, so getting them out of drugs and getting them into sports, mobilizing them, giving them the direction. So this is something that we are doing. And likewise in India, there are many people, many NGOs who are doing, but there is no voice. We are not collaborating with each other. So it is time that we create a platform where all the NGOs come together. Let us collaborate. Let us represent ourselves in G20, and then let us represent India on the world map, that this is what we are doing to bring India to number one on the world map, I tell you. But then at the end of the day, we are really blessed to be in this country, a country wherein you see so much of development happening. Today, you see if you really see the digital divide in India, today in the villages, I mean, I can speak of Punjab because I go from villages to villages. Today, people are using Google Pay everywhere. That is digitization. People are using cards, your ATM cards to withdraw money. That is again digitization. People are using, I mean, even if a fruit vendor of Punjab is selling fruit, is sending moongfali groundnut for 5 rupees, takes GPay. A person who's selling sugarcane juice takes GPay. A 20 rupees sugarcane juice, you can just make a GPay. So everybody has a UPI ID today in India. Rural India also has UPI IDs. So that's so good about us that we have such platforms today. All our banks are digitized. We are all using online banking today. We are booking tickets online. We are booking air tickets online. We are booking railway tickets online. Even in the small towns of India, people are booking tickets online. Vande Bharat, these trains, the connectivity between state to state is so good. Excellent connectivity through roadways, through railways, and everything at a very subsidized rate, very, very subsidized rate. So all these things, we don't take into consideration. All we do is just blame the country and just be praised to whatever, people have to say, rather than really evolving and empowering people that no, we are in a country wherein the country is doing very well. We need to support the country in doing better. We need to support our own people in doing better. We need to support our own neighbors, our own city, our own state, and we need to be exemplars, rather than just grumbling and complaining. So these were certain things I spoke about also on an international platform. And that vision board, me standing there, and the General Assembly speaking there about Indian education system was, I can't explain the feeling that I've had. So this is the long and short. I think I've spoken a lot. Well, I'm open to questions if you all have any questions. Any questions for me?
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your experience. I think this is a wonderful to know that Dr. Sagarika ji traveled and realized your vision. Maybe just a question. How long has been the talk you had the opportunity to speak in?
Get an opportunity to speak more than 2 minutes, and whatever you speak has to be sent to them, and they see the text, so that it is not a hate speech towards any country. You are not targeting any particular social group. You are using politically correct language. Like in your speech, you shouldn't be using words like black and things like this, So they look for all of this. So the script has to be your own script written, and it has to be free of plagiarism. You can have 5% plagiarism because you're giving references, your statistics from here and there. So it has to be up to 5% plagiarism is allowed. But it is 2 months back when you get registered. If you get a chance, if you get a letter from them saying that, yes, we will invite you, then they also tell you that share the script of your dialogue with us. So when you share it, they pass your dialogue through various tables, and this is what they check for, basically, as I said. And then they back with you, and then you can speak. You can't speak out of context. No, you can't do that.
I see.
In the General Assembly, you have to speak your proposed speech, but in the side sessions which are happening, yes, there you can speak out of context. I mean, you can bring in your own.
Okay. That's networking and other part.
Yeah. There you speak as a speaker, but in the General Assembly, you can't speak. Your General Assembly speech has to be absolutely go through a lot of monitoring. Yes, Apurva ji.
Yes, ma'am. My question is, they give, space to Ukraine people. So there are people from other countries like Afghanistan or Russia.
Yes. All the UN countries, basically, all the UN countries are there. All UN countries are there.
Okay. So they got the chance to meet up, right? Russian people got the chance to.
Open forum, so everybody got chance to meet, and the floor were also open. I mean, you could go sit and have a coffee in the UN. There are 2-3 coffee shops in the UN where you can sit with your delegates of different countries, and you can sit and have a coffee with them, and then you can ask questions. So this is how I found out about the education system of different countries. That is, what is the gap, and what is it that what are the difficulties that they are facing. So like this, it was very enriching for me. I mean, I didn't miss a single moment of not meeting people. I went there, I made the best out of it, of meeting different countries, different people, and speaking to them. I mean, see, a place like China also, which is a very developed country, but then there also the development is it's in pockets. It's in pockets. There are still places where, there is a lot of development that has to reach the grassroots over there. So what we hear only of the success stories, what we hear is always about the success stories, but we really don't know inside what is happening. So, and then we also exchanged a lot of gifts, I had taken a lot of gifts from here in India. So people who had got gifts, we did exchange few gifts like this. So I had taken gifts made by an NGO, an NGO called Sui Dhaga. So they had made female dolls, female dolls like this. And those female dolls were basically, when I gave it to people, I informed them that these are female dolls standing for women empowerment, made by women, made by a woman NGO. And this is here, I would like to share with you, because you also being a woman, you can have this. I call it a lucky pari. I mean, and 19 of us, we were there, we called it a lucky pari. So that lucky pari, we gave that lucky pari to everybody. They could hang it. And each time they see this lucky pari, they are reminded that, yes, we are women and we are women of the world. And we should be standing and supporting the other women of the world also. So that is all.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
I think one of the reason that we are growing is we are also supporting these art form, traditional art form.
Yes.
So when you got,
like for example, now if anybody's interested, we have an exhibition happening in Geneva, UN. There's a group from India, from Mumbai, which is going to Geneva, UN, wherein the paintings of the children can be displayed there. So they are charging 6,000 rupees because the raw paintings will be taken from India. They are going to be framed there in Geneva, because obviously in the flight, framed paintings cannot be taken. There are certain dimensions. So I could share the details with all of you all. So if you all have paintings of any of your near and dear one, which is Madhubani art, Parli art, Indian art, that you want to expose Indianness in the UN at Geneva, where people will be coming from different countries, I will share the address. You all can give the paintings to that person, and the person would frame the paintings and send it there. And of course, if the paintings are sold, if anybody buys the paintings, then of course, certain amount also is given back to you. Then it is up to you whether you can donate it to an NGO or you can have it for yourself. That is absolutely up to you. So this is Paint Alive. This is a project called Paint Alive that is happening in India, that I also support Paint Alive. In fact, I'm also one of their members over here. So I send a lot of paintings from our grassroots children, and these are all Indian art that go international. So this is also sharing Indianness, because Indian art is so rich. So we share all of this. So there are a lot of platforms wherein, so anybody is interested in anything, I mean, you all can get in touch with me, wherein a lot of work is happening across India, and each one can really collaborate, and let's take India to a different level. That's what I would want to say. Yeah, any other questions? Mullidharanji, any questions? Brahmanji, any questions?
Yeah, madam, it's not a question actually. Yeah, you rightly said, we don't know the privileges, the peace, the things we are enjoying in India. When we go outside, then only we'll realize how blessed we are, how happy we are here.
See, we have 5G. We have 5G, and we have 5G even in the villages.
Yeah, exactly. True.
In the cities. Today, Jio has really come up today. Every service. And
Yeah.
people are still struggling with 2G and 3G. They don't have optic cables.
Okay. Yeah.
Think about it. Today we are talking of 5G, fiber optic cable. Everybody's carrying a mobile phone. Everyone, all the house help that have. But everyone, the vegetable vendor has a mobile phone.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. Yeah.
the mobile phone, they have bank accounts and find
Good.
them, access them, right?
So we are fast.
Absolutely, madam. Even I have my 5 bank accounts in my mobile. So much of time is saved, so much of headache is saved. Everything happens in mobile. I send all details of bank to my auditor to the merchant now. everything I'm saying. Otherwise, running behind would have done 2 weeks is gone very much for me. Now it's so easy. Everything happens. I just give a call to my manager of the bank. He will send the email. I'll just forward it to my auditor. That's it. So
Right.
beautiful it is. Yeah.
Being a free country, India, we are embracing all the technologies. Like Satyaji, just correct me if I'm wrong. In China, you cannot use Gmail.
They have, I mean, they do not allow Google system to work. I think I mentioned WhatsApp or Gmail or Google Maps, but they have built their own ecosystem.
See, they have, but then this ecosystem only cannot platform.
Yes, yes.
So this is the problem. See, so this is again India. Is because of democracy today we have the best of all the world today. We have the best medicines with us today. When we had COVID, we had vaccines with us. Other countries were fighting for vaccines also. So nobody accounts for all these, nobody accounts for these small things. But then these are things of so much of value that because of political pressures.
And we also donated to other. We not only fulfilled our.
The earthquake which happened, India was
Yes.
India was the first one to reach Turkey in spite of the odd, political turmoil that it had with Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
The things that we are doing in democratic India, we don't find. So these are the things that, only when you go out, you realize how much, sorry to use the word, but how much deep shit the countries are in.
Mm-hmm.
So it is like that.
That's why it is what we are portraying our image. That's why political people are tarnishing our image in other.
Yes. They're tarnishing our image in other countries. So this is how it works. Anything else for me?
No, ma'am. Wonderful experience, ma'am.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that's great, madam. Yeah.
Indeed, it was really. Thank you very much, everyone. And thanks to the universe. Thanks to the universe for giving me this opportunity of representing India in the UN. It's a dream come true, absolute dream come true. And there with the national flag standing is like, you get goosebumps. You get absolute goosebumps.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is.
Ma'am, you made the maximum out of it.
I made the maximum. I achieve maximum. And now my journey, now my journey begins of collaborating with countries and let me do whatever I can, whatever my own ways to really build up India in the world map. And if we take baby steps also somewhere or the other, So selfless giving is the only way that you can move ahead, I think.
And now you are moving towards Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. So.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. This is what, and social media. I use social media to the maximum. I use social media to the maximum to bring out the awareness. Like I've had 700 plus comments and things like that, So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, plus Facebook status, Instagram status. I use my own phone, WhatsApp status. I use all of this to bring out maximum awareness. I mean, some people may look at it as I'm promoting myself, but well, it's not me. If I don't promote myself, then I'm not promoting India then, because if I'm representing India, then I have to do what I have to do. So I really don't care what people have to think, but I have really promoted what I have done for these days through all social media platforms. So that is how. This has been the long and short. Okay, so I think everyone, being a working day, everyone's busy. So can we call it a day?
Yes, ma'am. And we will continue this journey and
Yes.
we'll collaborate and whatever we can, how to take it forward from here. So, yes.
Oh, sure. Take care. Have a nice day.
Thank you, madam. Have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.